Gary, a cracking derby, and Blues were the better side in most departments, but unfortunately just couldn't find that winning goal.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair assumption of the game and a fair reflection. I thought we were magnificent today. I can't really fault any of the players. Maybe a 5-10 minute spell after they scored where perhaps we lost a little bit of momentum and composure, which you can understand that in a game of that magnitude when you start so well like we did. Really on the front foot, really took the game to Villa. I thought put them under a lot of pressure. They didn't really put us under a lot of pressure, in all fairness, apart from the odd breakaway or the odd set piece, which I was disappointed we kept giving away. The goal comes from that, it's a free kick, deservedly a free kick. I've got no issue with that. And we don't do our jobs, and in a big game like that, you've got to do your jobs. There's a couple of times now we've perhaps got into free kicks wide or corners, and we just haven't dealt with it well enough. It's a good header from Gardner, he's very good in the air, but really disappointing to concede like that when they'd not threatened at all. And as I said, we lost a bit of composure after that, then certainly second half. I just said to the players, we'd done nothing wrong, we'd been absolutely brilliant most of that first half. Just got to keep doing what you're doing and don't get too loose with our shape, don't feel like we've got to work any less, keep going. And I thought second half, I can't remember them being in our half very often, let alone getting any chance of it. Now, one header from a corner, and it wasn't even a real header. We've had lots of good chances. Clayton had a very, very good chance, not, apart from the one he had first half, and perhaps should have scored. Don't think it was over the line. Very good chance from Djukovic, has knocked down. Djuki's done great, headed it down. Clayton should have finished it. Mags goes through 1v1 after nicking it off Hutton. Again, just perhaps show a bit more composure to get out his feet the correct side rather than allowing them to get back in. And then Shots has a brilliant chance from a set piece as well. So great finish from Dave Davis. I thought he was excellent in terms of his work rate and energy today. Epitomised our fighting spirit. Disappointed we just couldn't find the winner. I don't think that's being overly critical to Villa. I think we were the better side. I think in a local derby we showed more desire to win the game. I thought we showed like we wanted to win the game more than them. But it's a 1-1 draw, and I'm not disappointed at all because I thought we were brilliant.
It did seem that Villa eventually got what they came for, and you were the team that wanted to win it, as you said, showed that desire, and also lots of quality as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a real testament to our team. Steve said to me afterwards, listen, your team's right at it. And we pride ourselves on games like that. Again, like I said before, it's not about money, but they've got some players that they've spent a hell of a lot of money on, and we've got a real honest group of players that we've assembled fairly cheaply. But we've got heart and we've got desire, and I thought we showed that today, and some good quality. And I think when we pass the ball well, what pleased me is I think coming out second half and actually passing the ball well and getting the ball wide with quality and ending up in good positions, rather than a couple of times, particularly against Burton, and for a 5-minute spell first half, we played forward too quickly, and we played forward with not enough care and not enough composure. But we were excellent, like you say. We had lots of chances, and can be rightly proud of the performance.
Royce Wiggins, for his full Blues debut, was excellent. It was absolutely superb, but unfortunately it took a turn for the worse right at the end there.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's really marred the day. And I thought Royce coming in at such late notice, not playing hardly any games, played brilliantly. I thought he was excellent. I thought he showed what we were all about. I was surprised he got through that long in the game. I thought he might get to about 60, 70 minutes, and I wasn't quite sure what we were going to do after that, because we only had really Robbo on the bench, which left back against one or two of their players would have been a good challenge. But just really unfortunate at the end. I think he clashes knees with Gusted, but I think it's not that. I think he catches his feet in the turf and just rotates his knee and snaps something, and he knew straight away. I think the players knew straight away. His wife's in there in the treatment room with him, and obviously they're distraught because he had a chance to start his career going again at 28. He's not played as much as he'd like to, and it's a real blow, But I thought if there's any consolation for him, I thought he was brilliant, and he'll go on, and I'm sure he'll play some games.
What did you and the players make of the atmosphere at St Andrews this afternoon? It was spine-tingling at times, wasn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. What a place when it gets going in a game like this. You know, it's funny, but I almost envied the lads warming up because they can feel that atmosphere and they could get used to that atmosphere. And I came out into the tunnel, but I didn't want to come out too far. And I came out and I could just hear the singing starting. It's brilliant. What a place. You know, and I thought they were superb by the whole game. As usual, outsung Villa. And were really, really strong for us. And you know, we need to try to utilise that in games where it perhaps isn't as much natural atmosphere moving forward to help us.
And a noble gesture from yourself, walking out Steve Bruce to the dugouts before the start?
Yeah, since Steve, we got into the tunnel and as I was coming out, Steve was coming out, and I just said, listen, come on, let's walk out together. I mean, I might have foregone a cheer or two. At times it felt like people were screaming at me, abuse, but I just felt, you know, look, Steve had been here a long time. It's football. I know nobody likes him joining the rivals. I understand that, but he's a good guy, and I don't think many people would deny that. And I just felt, you know, let's see who wins the football match, not who gets the most abuse, you know. And hopefully our fans won't hate me too much for the gesture, because I'm sure they'd love to have thrown a few pelters at him. But I just wanted to do that. I think it was the right thing to do, and you know, like I said, it's a point. They've got a point. They've come and got what they've got. They keep their run going, and we keep our home form going as well.